It's a simple question. Why are hundreds of thousands of New Zealand children going to school hungry in a country that makes and grows food so well? A hungry child will find it difficult to learn, and without a decent education, that child is much less likely to become a productive member of society. Over the past 2 years, this program has repeatedly drawn attention to this problem. But the reality is that almost 250,000 kids still live in poverty. The government has come on board providing milk and Weet-Bix to schools in partnership with Fonterra and Sanitarium, which is wonderful. So why isn't it enough? We're holding our second Lunchbox Day this week and we need your help. You can text the word lunch to 24448 for an automatic $3 donation to help our friends at Kids Can provide hot lunches and plant orchards in schools. Because as Tristram Clayton discovered, the situation for too many families is still grim beyond belief.
2 years ago, we asked one unsuspecting Year 6 class in Auckland to show us their lunchboxes. Here they are. For every empty desk, there's a kid who won't be eating morning tea, who'll have nothing for lunch. Our discovery was shocking and heartbreaking. So what's changed since then?
Let's have a look at it. Ooh.
We decided to carry out another social experiment.
It's not a lot, is it? It's not a lot.
This time looking inside the fridges of families across the country.
And there's 8 people living out of that fridge. That's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough.
At 6 schools, it was the kids themselves who photographed their fridges. Again, the emptiness was disturbing. In Wellington's Cannons Creek, we spoke with 3 of the student photographers.
Tell me about this photo.
Yeah, we kind of ate a lot of food.
Over the weekend?
Yeah. This was on Saturday.
Saturday. All right, so you still had Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
What was left in the fridge for those 4 days before you did the next big shop?
Oh, I don't really know.
A family of 6 with just this to survive on for the next 4 days. It's the same in this 11-year-old's family.
Cool, so that's pretty much the beginning of the week, right?
For the first 3 or 4 days, the family of 4 eat well.
That's a very good photo. That's really good.
Then the food runs out.
It feels empty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't go in the fridge that often at the end of the week.
There's not much in there.
There was one time how I got really hungry and then I couldn't go to sleep, and then I just went to sleep, and then when I woke up in the morning I had a sore stomach.
Imagine trying to concentrate at school after spending an entire night with a stomach pleading for food.
It just fills you up for a little bit, and then you get hungry after that.
For other students, the answer to those gnawing hunger pains is not much better than the problem.
When me and my brother have nothing to eat, we just go and make noodles. Me and my brother was starving and there was nothing to eat, so because we were supposed to save the noodles for next time, but then we didn't because we were so hungry, so we just ate the noodles.
And you had noodles on Tuesday as well?
Yep.
Do you sense that kids are at times at night not having enough to eat?
Yes, definitely. When they come in, they're really hungry and I'm offering breakfast. They'll be here first, to say, oh, we want breakfast, is it cool that we have it? And it's like, yeah, fine, that's sweet.
In Dinsdale and West Hamilton, we got local primary school teacher Shane Natai to show us a random selection of his students' fridges.
Okay, Tristram, this is the first fridge in one of our family's homes. Let's have a look at it. Ooh. Okay, not a lot. Yeah, not a lot of milk there.
No one had any idea why we were coming.
This particular mum is got 2 young children on her own, works about 20 hours a week, part-time. Tells me that she does the shopping on a Saturday. Today's Wednesday.
So still 3 more days until the next shop.
Until the next shop.
It's not a lot, is it?
It's not a lot.
Shane says the family of 3 spends less than $100 a week on groceries. There's certainly no money for alcohol or cigarettes. There isn't even enough for a car.
It's about a 4.5k walk to the nearest shops. So when I spoke to her last, she waited an hour and a half to find someone she knew to get a ride to be able to come back home with the groceries.
Just around the corner, we visit a 4-bedroom house.
Let's have a look at the fridge.
That's home to 6 children and 2 adults.
This again is pretty empty, isn't it?
Yeah. We've got our veggies.
Quite a good stack of veggies, but every other shelf is really quite bare.
Yeah.
And there's 8 people in this house living out of that fridge. That's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. And I know that this mum will get her payments tomorrow, so from out of that I think she's got a budget of about $150 to spend on food for the week.
That's $150 for 8 people.
Yes.
6 kids, 2 adults, and 4 of those kids are teenagers.
Teenagers. And I know she's told me that she buys about 16 loaves of bread a week to supplement their diet for the teenagers, because the money's so tight you can only buy what you can only buy, and she takes a calculator around with her to do her shopping to make sure she doesn't go over that budget.
It's not easy.
Not easy, mate.
House number 3 is on the other side of the school. Again, there was no warning we were coming, just the cold reality.
This is a family of 7, 5 children, 2 adults.
Of a painfully empty fridge.
Mum tells us she does the shop on Thursdays.
So this is the end of the week, but that's for 7 people.
Yeah. And of course, another thing we haven't thought of is medicines.
Yeah.
You know, some of these kids have medical needs, so there's the cost associated with that on top of the budget of, in this case, $120 a week.
Hang on, $120 for 7 people a week?
Yeah, to feed them.
Straight up?
Straight up.
And that's maximum?
Yep.
So even a little part surcharge of a few dollars for antibiotics is significant when you're dealing with $120 for food.
It's going to make a big difference.
Shane says the 5 children in the house manage to take a packed lunch to school 3 days a week. But when the food runs out, as it does for the last 2 days of every week, it's the school that helps out.
A child who presents hungry is not going to learn. We take it on board as part of our responsibility to support that child so that they can learn, because it's not their fault that they've turned up to school hungry.
How do you reply to those people that say there is no real poverty in New Zealand?
We know there is abject poverty in our communities across the country. This is a small example of that today, and we saw a range there that reflects on how well our parents are surviving, and I use that word seriously because I think they are in survival mode. We've got children who have very little food security at the moment, and they're not sure where the next meal's coming from.
Surviving rather than living. So what's the solution? For many schools, the answer is simple. If they're not eating at home, feed them at school.
They just keep coming back for more, and they're very enthusiastic, and I guess they're happy they're getting fed. If your stomach's full, then I guess your brain works, and if your brain works, then you listen in class and you get the results you need.
Nice, guys. One at a time.
Principal Salvatore Gargiulo says the 440 toasted sandwiches dished out every day have had a major impact on learning at the school.
What we've found is a big drop-off in terms of problems in the afternoon classes. What we also had noted a big increase in attendance. I guess most significantly our achievement at NCA has improved. Some of the students said it's changed their lives in terms of knowing that during the course of the day they will get something to eat.
All the food provided at Manurewa High has been donated by the Kids Can charity. CEO Julie Chapman says more food is getting to those who need it than ever before, but there's still a long way to go.
At the moment we're feeding 12,500 children a week across 430 schools in New Zealand. We have kids and schools on the waiting list, so it's fair to say the need is still there, the need is increasing, and that's why we're excited about this Lunchbox Day, to be able to get help to those kids that are waiting.
For Salvatore Gargiulo, getting food to those kids is critical.
If students aren't fed properly, they're not going to engage in class. And the debate about, well, it's the parent's job, so I don't really care whose job it is. All I know is I've got students coming to school, I'm trying to give them qualifications. They can't do it when they're starving hungry.
Tristram Clayton reporting there. It is heartbreaking. So this Friday we're holding another Lunchbox Day. There are 3 ways to get involved. Firstly, you can text the word lunch to 2448 to make an instant $3 donation. That will help pay for hot lunches for children and go towards planting orchards in schools. Secondly, because this is all about feeding kids, you can get a can collection going at your school or workplace. Spaghetti, baked beans, whatever. It makes a great hot lunch for a child that may not otherwise get it. Build a sculpture, send us a picture. We'll try to get to as many places as possible. Finally, you can buy this, the Great New Zealand Cookbook. It is stuffed with great Kiwi recipes. Part of the proceeds from every copy sold will go to Kids Can, and Whitcoulds will donate an extra $5 from every copy they sell until Father's Day.